We have been delivered a treat as AFL fans, as for the first preliminary final, it will be a matchup of the greatest rivalry in the modern era, as two titans go off against each other, Geelong and Hawthorn. Overall, as we always do, just want to have a quick review of their lineup and all the players that we will see in this preliminary final before we get underway. The Cats forward line is stacked with three crazy talls in Jeremy Cameron, Sean Manor, and Shannon Neal, who have both been insane with their goal kicking and overall marking proficiency over this season, with small forwards such as Tyson Stengel, Ollie Dempsey, and Brian Myers being able to deliver Shane and be very strong. The Cats midfield has been a concern for so many years, but this year has been the year they finally put it together, with Max Holmes and Bailey Smith, the Dash brothers, being one of the most brutal midfield duos in the game this season. Reece Stanley returning the rock role and play a pretty sizable role in that margin. For the Cats defense, it's still led by perennial inset marker Tom Stewart, who is pivotal in so many of their performances, of Jack Henry, Jake Jasney, Tom Atkins, and Tagger. Boyson Mullen, who could play a pivotal role in the Hawks' one of the Hawks' very scary midfielders. Brad Post as well, a very dominant defender to have to worry about in a lineup that is just stacked. For the Hawks, they also have tall timber surrounded all throughout their forward line, with Marvia Scholl, Mitch Lewis coming to the injured Calcio and Jack Gunston, who is just turning back the clock this season and had an insane game against the Crows. Their small forwards, Jack Ginnivan, Nick Watson, Connor McDonald can come up and spring goals every now and then. Their midfield is led by an absolute X-gamer in the finals and a finals specialist in Jai Newcomb, who has been just incredible this season. 4 from 4 in all of the finals he has played. Along with James Warple, Josh Ward, Josh Weddle, who have played, Carl Amon, who have all been great contributors to the midfield in their roles as well this season. In the defense, it's tall timber everywhere, with Tom Barras and Josh Battle being just incredible additions to that defense, along with the captain, James Sicily, who has been a very strong player in form over the last few weeks. These are both outfits just stacked with talent all throughout, led by two absolute tacticians at the peak of their game in Chris Scott and Sam Mitchell, who I think are the two best mastermind coaches in the game at the moment in terms of how they go about overall way they play. These two teams have only played once in the regular season, and it was during a round 6 blockbuster on Easter Monday. Geelong won through a late Sean Manor snap in a game that Bailey Smith just came over everywhere. 28 disposals, including hitting Jarman Impey in the face, if you don't mind. Overall, throughout their finals campaign, both teams have had very key game players show up, and both have looked very impressive all throughout their performances. Geelong in their qualifying win against Brisbane had their forward line come up in so many ways. Jeremy Cameron was also required with 3 goals, but it didn't matter. Shannon Neal, Ollie Dempsey count a few goals, Patrick Dangerfield kicks an insane goal, and Bailey Smith and Max Holmes just dominated the football in so many ways. For the Hawks, their finals been Jai Newton, 4 for 4 in all his finals, and Jack Gunston, all that continues to line back the clock and all their small forwards. Overall, I think this game just has so many ways it could go, but if I'm going to simplify what each team needs to do to win, I think for Geelong, it comes out of their midfield. And most teams have like one player you really need to worry about, but the Cats are just such a deadly two-headed dragon in that Dash Brothers combo. That might be the best midfield duo in the game. And like you can only take one. You have to pick between either Max Holmes or Bailey Smith to just terrorise you. Max Holmes has been such an incredible, unbelievable finals performer over the last few seasons. And even if you leave Max Holmes, Bailey Smith is an incredible finals performer from that 2021 campaign. And I just think like their ball movement has just been insane, and they lead the competition in marks per inside 50. And their overall like tall forwards just get involved in so many ways. I think for the Cats to win this game, obviously Max Holmes and Bailey Smith are going to have massive nights out, and it's not just going to be Jeremy Cameron who ends up dominating. For the Cats, it's going to be Shannon Neal, Sean Manor, Ollie Dempsey, Patrick Danfield's going to get on the board a lot. It's going to be a widespread amount of goals throughout all their field, and their defenders are going to be able to just stop Hawthorn's quick, erratic ball movement at any point. But it's going to be those players who stand up. And I think that's just a theme throughout all this matchup. It's the midfield and forward line, along with what each team does in defence, that may decide this game. Whoever dominates the midfield and whoever has the more players show up for goal and be able to score goals is going to win this game. Same thing for Hawthorn. The big player is Jai Newton. 5 for 5 in finals games he will be if Hawthorn are going to win this game. Jack Gunston will have another incredible performance and just wind back the clock once more. And I think Nick Watson and Jack Ginnivan might light up the scoreboard once again for them to overall be able to win this game. Overall, and another thing that I forgot to mention for Geelong, I think a player who could have a key impact for them is Oyson Muller, who might tag Jai Newcomb and just try and bring down the Hawks major finals player and just be able to quell him in so many ways. Overall, it's a very fun matchup in terms of what each team does that decides this game. For my overall prediction of who I think is going to win, it is very interesting. There are multiple stats for this game that are so interesting to think about. Geelong are the #1 team per inside 50 marks in the competition this year, and the best offensive team in the competition this year on stats. But Hawthorn are the best in their tall defence at marking opposition inside 50 balls over the last few weeks. And whilst Geelong have dominated this matchup in the regular season, Hawthorn have dominated in the finals. Geelong have not beaten Hawthorn in a cutthroat elimination final since 1963, which is just so interesting to think about. I think a big key thing for me in this matchup, both teams are playing just unbelievable. They're in unbelievable form, and I think Hawthorn were the last team Geelong wanted to see in this final series. I just think in terms of defence and the midfield, defending the midfield, I just think Geelong has better ways to do it, and I think Chris Scott will have a plan for Jai Newcomb that will just work. And I think he will be able to shut down Jai Newcomb and figure out what do with him. And I think that the Hawks might just struggle. Like, I think they'll tag Max Holmes, but that leaves Bailey Smith wide open to do whatever he wants. And that Dash Brothers midfield is just so scary to have to deal with. And I just think that the Cats players will be able to get off the leash and just be able to score anytime they want. And I think their forwards going to have really big games, especially guys like Sean Manna and Shannon Neal and Ollie Dempsey. Overall, the Hawks will have a very strong fight. I just think like their midfield defence might just fall short here. And I think the Cats will have a very strong plan for Jai Newcombe. I'm predicting the Cats by 7 points in a thriller. But should be a very fun game. Should be an unbelievable game of footy on Friday night, and I can't wait to react to it when the time comes. Winner into the grand final.